Going to put away my shield here, which is probably going to be ill-advised. Who was that? Hello and welcome back to our Sturgian Viking. As you can see, we're actually changing our target here for no apparent reason other than the fact they were in this area. I really didn't even want to fight these guys, but as you can quite clearly tell, there's actually another army in our region here trying to be a bit of a nuisance. So let's just all of a sudden do a little bit of research here, shall we? Okay, yeah, that's not the guy that I want to talk to. Who is the guy that I'm actually... that is the fellow that I am actually speaking to. Okay, well, that is obviously too bad then, isn't it? Yes, I called for my own army as well, by the way, because I actually wanted to take her Togia castle, or whatever castle is nearby to us right here. And I thought to myself, yes, this seems like a perfect target for us. But unfortunately, my vassals are so far away, or should we say my fellow vassals are so far away, that they just take too long, you know? They just take too long to get anywhere, and then as a result, I have to do everything myself, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind that for the most part. However, when I am so significantly outnumbered like we are here, it kind of makes things a bit difficult. Oh yes, by the way, I have a number of things to tell you. In my off-screen time, Aiseni has gotten pregnant. Finally. She's finally gotten pregnant with something or other. Don't know what it is, obviously, but we'll hopefully find out reasonably soon. But yes, she has gotten pregnant, so that's fantastic. And then we also leveled up, which is also nice. And we're almost at 200 trade skill, which I gotta say is amazing. I'm kind of surprised that I was even able to really get to that at this point, because it takes a long time to... Are you serious that I'm a pregnant woman? How dare you do such a thing right now? Thank you very much, you... Okay, well... if you excuse me for, you know, just yelling at them. But, yeah, there you go. We are not having the greatest time, getting absolutely murdered from every single direction known to man, but there you go. That's what apparently is now happening to Aiseni here. But it's fine. As you can no doubt tell, we are achieving massive victory here. And I gotta say, I'm actually really surprised that our husband is still alive. I can't believe it, to be honest. I thought that he would probably be like the rest and he would just fall in the first battle and that would be that. But no, he's apparently sticking around for a little bit longer this time. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, now that I've mentioned that, you know what's going to happen? He's going to die. Yes. Now that I've mentioned it, he is literally going to die the next chance he gets. And he's going to be like, oh, finally, I don't have to play with that person anymore. Yes. No doubt, no doubt. Okay, well, whatever the case, I'm going to try and kill a couple of these people if I can, because they are obviously on mounts, and it is much, much more difficult to kill someone on a mount than not. Oh, never mind. Well, I didn't actually do any damage to that guy, so can't really count that. Are you serious, Svana? What? Why would you do that, Svana? Okay, yeah, so I did say that my husband was going to die, but no, it's not the husband this time. It is just the lone vassal that I called to help me. And now here's the thing. What is this? What is this right here? This is new. Was there an update? I don't see an update on my itinerary here. I was not notified. I'm just kidding, obviously. Anyway, yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that. Must be an update or something, and surprisingly works with all my mods. I don't know how that works, but okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, we're going to be taking every single one of these people prisoner. And, you know, if this was the old Barney, he'd get out his executioner's axe and he'd start chopping. But as it isn't, we're not going to be doing that. But, you know, just know that I would love to. I think it would be a fantastic idea to do so, but obviously we can't really do that because then all the relations with every single person in the entire game are going to go down the drain, and that's not what we want, of course. So I'm actually just going to go over here, try and attack this guy. Obviously I can't go into manual battle at the moment, so we're just going to do an auto-resolve against him, get him taken prisoner as well, and I'm actually going to show you my prisoners in just a second, because I've been doing a huge amount of, well, cleaning up, I guess you could say. Because cleaning up, in this case, definitely has a rather funny connotation, because I'll show you just after this one. And yes, Vipon, technically I could speak to him and maybe get him to join us, but I think we've found out that he's actually very stubborn. So I'm just going to leave him alone for the moment. But yes, let me show you. Here we go. Yes, you see that? Now, Aldrich is the only one that you've seen that I actually have in my army, and this guy, he refuses to leave my prisoner's hold, no matter what. I'm actually not sure exactly why that is, but he doesn't have a little icon here. Don't know whether you notice, and look at this. Even if I drag him out of there, he doesn't move, so I assume it's some kind of bug, but yeah. Anyway, the rest of them obviously can be released if we so desire, which we do not at this point, thank you very much. And otherwise, we're going to take a look at our skills. Alright, so here we go. These are both governor skills, which is basically pointless in my opinion, so I guess we'll just go for Trade Yard Foreman, because if I become the governor of Epicrotia, then this is going to increase our iron ore production by 20%, which I suppose is pretty decent, so we might as well go for it. And everything has a price is within reach, and I'm very much hoping that we will be able to get to that quite soon, even though it is going to make the game rather trivial. I know some people are starting to say to me, you know, and I'm talking about on Twitter and in DMs and stuff like that, and people are saying to me, hey, you know, you can actually complete the game really, really fast. And I'm like, oh yeah, you can do that with the trade skill, because, well, it makes the game very easy in that aspect. So anyway, we're gonna see, these are governors, basically pointless, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really know what really to go for here. These are cool though. I'd like either of these. These are gonna be quite important, but yeah, don't really see the necessity to level up leadership any further, with the exception of 20% less influence needed, but I still have almost 1900 influence. It really doesn't make that much sense for me to go anything more than that. And I could potentially go for some engineering here, so that's exactly what I'll do. I'll do engineering and intelligence, and then we'll just move on. That sounds like a good plan to me. Okay, so we've got Gudun's army going over there, and what's he doing? How many does he have? Yes. Oh, he has a pretty significant number. He's got almost 400. Oh, hello, Cervic. Let's fight him. Actually, I can't even go in right now because I am still wounded. Now I can go in. Oh, the Hidden Hand have actually joined Sturgian as a mercenary. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, yeah. So Cervic, I was actually going to attack myself. I was literally just going to attack him purely by myself before we were attacked by the Azrai. But obviously that is a bit different now. And now this is a bit problematic. I don't really want to go in here right now, if at all possible. You know what? I'm actually just going to leave them alone. Let everyone get in there first, and then maybe we can go in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so technically, if I was doing this off screen right now, I'd auto-resolve this in a heartbeat, because it is just so dramatically in our favor that there is basically no way the enemy is going to achieve anything in this. But because it is a pretty significant battle in the turning of the tide against the Vlandians, I think it's relatively important to show it in this situation. So let's see if we can maybe make my people do some nice shield war right here, and then we'll get to going in. As we look upon the faces of our enemies, we are greeted by the most wondrous, most beautiful specimens of mankind that we've ever seen. Yeah, no. I'm sorry, that's just not how it is. It was my attempt at a somewhat lowball insult, but there you go. that actually may have achieved something, because they might have heard it, you know? They might have heard it. I was yelling. I was yelling at the top of my lungs right there. Maybe they heard Iceni yelling across the battlefield, and it might have done a little bit of something to their confidence, but who knows, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to tell my people just to charge straight on in here, because our combat strength is so dramatically in our favor that we shouldn't have too many difficulties. Going to put away my shield here, which is probably going to be ill-advised. Who was that? Who did that? Who did that damage? Are you serious? Okay, well, that's exactly the reason why I wanted to wait a little bit of time. You know, I actually have a funny feeling that that was Cervic himself, because whenever I'm in a battle against the Vlandians, they always seem to do massive damage against me specifically once they are on their horses. But, well, whatever the case, we're going to be taking all of them prisoner, as many as we can get our hands on. Might as well have just auto-resolved it, to be honest. It would have saved me some HP. But, oh well, never mind. I guess it's all right. I mean, I actually wanted to have some fun in that one, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't happen, as is the case most of the time. Now, these people have now joined me, so I suppose what I will be doing is moving on over to Hotogia Castle, which is exactly what I wanted to take before the whole debacle with the Azurai and everything. So hopefully we'll be able to start our siege properly this time. Well, my food situation is going to start being a slight problem quite soon. However, we do still have 77 days worth, and it is actually starting to just creep in a little bit. However, it is going to get worse very, very quickly. It can snowball very fast, and hopefully we'll be able to avoid most of that. Now, a lot of my caravans are actually being preyed upon in recent times, and while I do have that skill that provides me 5,000 gold whenever they are defeated, that's actually not really what I care about. At this point, money is not really something I care about that much, even though it really should be, because obviously if I do want to take advantage of everything has a price, then of course having as much money as possible is going to be the way to go. That is literally going to be the thing that you all want to do, of course, and that's exactly the reason why I was talking about, you know, speed runs and stuff like that, because anytime there's like a way for you to very quickly conquer the entirety of Calradia, it's usually going to be due to something like that, you know. So for example, if I wanted, literally, here's the thing, if I wanted to, I could probably conquer Calradia. How long is it actually going to take? Probably not that long, if I concentrate very heavily on doing the things that I know will get me a lot of money very, very fast and a lot of trade skill really fast. So maybe 3 hours? I don't know, actually. It depends. It really depends, but that's what I'm talking about. If you can exploit game mechanics in such a massive way, because let's just say that there are no limits. Let's say there are no limits to what you actually have to do or can do in a situation like that, and the only goal is to complete the game in the fastest time possible, then I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do it in about that time, in about 3 hours most likely. It really depends on how efficient you are, what kind of mods you're using, if you're using any mods at all, of course. And generally, I think you probably, if you want to use the trade skill, you're probably going to need the mod that fixes the caravans, because obviously, at the moment, at least as far as I'm aware, I don't think they fixed this, but basically, caravans in the vanilla game, they do not provide you trade skill, even though the trade skill itself should be providing you trade skill over time. Caravans should do that, but they don't. At least that's what they used to not be able to do. So installing a mod that fixes that problem is definitely going to improve the quality of life that you're going to see as a trading character. I know a couple of people say, why are you even playing the game if you're just downloading a bunch of fixes? Well, that's the point, because I'm obviously wanting to play the game as the developers intended it, and that's the way to do it, because, you know, if there's a mod that fixes something that should be working but isn't, then surely you'd want that. People are a bit weird. Anyway, there you go. We're going to disband the army real fast, and I'm actually just going to show you the trade skill real quick, because as you can see right here, make profit from trading and operate caravans. That is how to learn trade skill. Now, in previous versions, not entirely sure if this has been fixed, of course, but in previous versions, you could only level this up from making profit from trading. That's it. And eventually, when you get to about 125, 150, maybe even 175, it would start to slow down to such a dramatic crawl that it would be very, very difficult to get it skilled up at all. So it's a good idea to get that fix so that it eventually will just level up passively, and you don't have to do too much to get it leveled up. Because it is still going to take a long time, it's just going to take a little bit less time as a result. So, you know, I mean, obviously, that's the point. The developers are intending the trade skill to be leveled up by caravans. And if there's a mod out there that fixes it in the interim before they're actually able to fix it themselves, then I think that's all the better. And that's the reason why modding communities are fantastic, because they generally tend to fix things that the developers either don't have the resources or the time to do at the moment. But then, well, then they might very well be able to later on. So it's pretty cool. I very much like that. And if you have if you have a problem with mods, I don't even know why you're playing this game, because this game is literally the best source material for mods that probably, well, it's probably top 5 in the entire history of gaming specifically, because I mean, obviously you have things like Gary's mod, you know, there's a huge amount of mods for that. What else do we have? Besieged, I think, has a whole bunch of mods. Kerbal Space Program, that has a huge amount of mods. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what other ones, but obviously Warband, Mount and Blade Warband, huge library of mods all over the place. Total conversions, improvements on the base game, and any number of things that you can download and enjoy for yourself. There are even Star Wars mods, so even if you want to play sci-fi instead of medieval, you can do that. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So I'd highly recommend, if you're anti-mod, you know, just go away from Bannerlord, because it's just not the game for you then in that case. Anyway, we are doing pretty well in terms of rotate right here. We've taken Hertogia Castle now as well. I keep saying it differently every single time I mention it, which is hilarious. And hopefully rotate is going to have a significant amount of money. Yes. Now, this is what's also quite amusing to me at this point. I have a mod installed that should increase the amount of money that I have in marketplaces, but it's not working by the looks of things, because usually a marketplace has about 50 to 80,000 in it, and at the moment, most marketplaces that I come to have about 35,000. So, yes, there's also that. But as I've said before, you really don't even need to use smithing or anything like that to actually make money, because if you just fight a whole bunch of bandits and vassals and things like that, you don't even need to worry, because you can literally just sell the loot from those battles. You can get the little money bonus that you get from actually defeating the vassal in question. And look at this. Just look at all this loot right here. Look at all that loot. It may not seem like a lot individually, but you add all of that up and it is significant. Oh yes, we know how significant it can be. All right, so let's have a look here. 967. Oh, Krotor. Hello there. I would like to speak to Mr. Krotor if at all possible. He, I think, is the leader of his clan, so it would be quite nice if we could get him to join us. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. There we go. Nice critical success. That is fantastic. Yes, there we go. Okay, come on now. We need another one. Yeah, 61% chance. I was a bit worried about that one, but we had another chance. Oh, okay, so apparently he has way too much money to know what to do. Ah, yes. Ah, how wonderful, how wonderful. Yeah, I think also something needs to be done about this whole prisoner taking business and how it makes no difference whatsoever to release any of these units. Look at this. Makes no difference to him whatsoever. Crazy. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, I will just be doing auto-resolve, and we'll just take those 5, those 5 casualties. And there you go. All right. So not too bad. And look at that. More loot. Yeah, that loot is going to sell for so much. Oh, I haven't even been able to unload it all. It is just so significant. Uthalame Castle was taken. Are you serious? Also, Gerzagos Castle was also taken. Well, that's not very nice of them, is it? Seems like while I was preoccupied dealing with the Western Empire and trying to quell their uprising, the Vlandians have gone behind my back and done a little bit of stabby-stabby. I'm not a big fan of that, so it seems like I might have to go over there and see what's happening. But for the moment, let's go for... I think we're going to go for Gerzagos Castle for the moment, and we'll see what's going on there, because I might be able to just get a battering ram and a couple of siege towers up and running, and then we'll be able to go in there really fast, just do an auto-resolve blitz attack, pretty much. 296, wow, they actually have a significant amount. They must have taken this a while ago, but let's try it, shall we? Let's just try an auto-resolve. Oh, might not work, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to call for a very, very swift army. These guys are going to be really, really close by as well. There's only 600 that we need, really, to be able to overpower these guys, because we have already a pretty decent combat advantage, but if we can just get a couple more numbers, that's all we really need to push it over the edge and just kind of get a little bit more. Okay, fantastic. Very pleased about this. Happy to make peace with the Aserai. Don't really want to be fighting them any further, even though they actually have some significant combat strength, so it would have been a good idea to maybe fight them a little bit more, but, well, they are pretty far away at this point, and we kind of need to focus in and, hone ourselves a little bit more against the people that are currently attacking us. In other words, the Batanians, the Vlandians, and the Western Empire. They're much closer to home, and it would be much better for us to attack them. As you can see, Ragnvald's doing his job. He's murdering a whole bunch of Western Empire, which is exactly what we like to see. And as you can see, we're now building our battering ram. I love the fact, by the way, that the battering rams and the siege towers are out of range of the enemy's catapults and ballistas, because if they were in range, this would probably be one of the most tedious portions of the game if that was not the case. Although what you could do is you could literally just click them and then move to reserve. So I suppose you could do the same thing that you do with siege towers. Well, not siege towers, that you do with trebuchets, I guess. Oh. Hello. Okay. You have a lot of people. All right. I'm going to just tell my people just to charge straight on in there. We're going to lose a whole bunch due to me having to go in there in such a rushed manner. I did not want to do that, but that is necessary if we are to take Gerzagos Castle before these guys interrupt us. They very badly wanted to do that. As you can see, they're now moving on, so that's fantastic. Let's see if we can disband the army a little bit here, and they can go wherever they want to. I'm just going to wait here for some time and just restore my units. As you can see, I have 106 wounded, so we'll see what happens with that. But hopefully they won't decide to try and take Rote. If they do, because they have such a significant army, we'll have to defend it. But I think for now, that will be it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, then by all means leave a like. Otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.